You're looking at Gateway International Raceway in Madison, Illinois, just east of St. Louis, Missouri. We're getting ready for Nationwide Series qualifying. Hope you enjoyed the soccer as we get ready with the number 18 car of Kyle Busch, and it seems like he's first out almost all the time anymore in qualifying. Marty Reed along with Andy Petrie and Rusty Wallace, and this really is his third number one qualifying number draw out of the last 4 races.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing wrong, but or right. This might not be actually a bad draw with the weather we have today, but he is first car out for 3 times out of 4.
Yeah, just like you said, Andy, I agree with you. Right now, the weather's pretty doggone good, so early qualifying draw is probably not a bad thing. He's probably feeling pretty comfortable. We talked all week long about how the temperatures are nice here in St. Louis. It's only like 72 degrees out right now.
And overcast skies. In fact, the weatherman was wrong on that part. They were calling for mostly sunny skies today. But as you can see, it's kind of gray, but they say no chance of rain. And here's Kyle getting ready to fly on his qualifying effort.
See him getting down to turn 1. The car looks good right now, right on the bottom of the racetrack. Not doing anything stupid, I call it.
Yeah, it almost looks like a conservative corner he made right there, but the car looked like it was stuck like glue.
Guys, he was 11th in the final practice, and we talked yesterday during the practice show that this might be the great equalizer, the fact that nobody had a book for this track at this temperature.
Yeah, it's very cool temperatures out there, Marty, and I really think that all the cars are going to handle pretty good because of it. But as you see Cal going into turn 1, right, look at that big bump right there, Andy. It's driving a lot of guys crazy.
Yeah, it's just your car settles down. You're on the brakes hard right there where that bump is, and so it actually makes it even hit harder right there. So it's real difficult to put springs in the car that'll make it actually stay off the racetrack.
You see that 33.4 second time? That's already 0.4 of a second quicker than last year's pole, first car out. Does that give you an idea how good the atmospheric conditions are?
Yeah, they haven't repaved the surface or done anything to the racetrack. I think they sealed it a few years ago, which does give it some more grip. And they did that in the corners. They use this, I guess they call it VHT. It's a traction enhancer they did a few years ago, and it's still hanging around. You can kind of see it in the groove there, the darker color. He actually slows down just a tick of the watts there on that second lap.
So he's got a time of 33.468 his first lap, and we want to remind you while we've got a shot to tune in tonight at 9 o'clock right after NHRA qualifying from Seattle right here on ESPN2, where we'll have race number 19 of the NASCAR Nationwide Series. And as we get ready for our second qualifying car to go out and make its effort, we come topside, and Andy, I know you wanted to talk about the track record because we're already just 0.2 of a second away from breaking it, and that was with the old setup.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a new track record. I know Kyle Busch you would think would be a fast car, and he is, but we saw yesterday in practice or last night, Reed Sorenson actually ran faster than the track record. I think it's a combination of the conditions, and maybe these cars have evolved a little bit over the years.
I've got to agree with you totally. I mean, it's cool out here. These guys are getting smarter and smarter. We probably will see a track record tonight, but one thing they need to do is qualify well. Remember, we're at a short track. Track position is everything in the world. If you qualify bad, it's hard to get up to the front, and you risk getting lapped early in a run.
And Reed Sorenson actually set that fast lap on the very last lap as we signed off air last night. And so he was number 1. Carl Edwards was number 2. And, oh, by the way, guess who have won the last 4 races here at Gateway? Reed Sorenson and Carl Edwards. Take a look now at Scott Wimmer. Wimmer holds the track record that we're all talking about possibly being broken.
Yeah, Wimmer had the pole here, I guess, Marty, back in 2007, I think. Had a really fast car that day, and he definitely knows how to get around this racetrack.
Yeah, he set this top time at 33.246 seconds at 135.3 miles an hour.
You see how that wall really juts out there as they come off the corner. You try to use up all the racetrack you can without getting into that wall, but it'll sneak up there and bite you sometime.
So 33.8 seconds, 132 and change. That'll currently leave Scott Wimmer on the outside of row number 1. Stay with us.
NASCAR Nationwide Series qualifying, brought to you by McDonald's.
And as you look across the river, the Gateway Arch and the city of St. Louis off to the west, and you're looking at Chad Blunt there at Gateway International Raceway as Chad is trying to record his qualifying effort. First lap right now was at a 35.5, not that stellar, and you can see the lap tracker, he's heading south.
Yeah, it looked like he had a little problem getting into turn 3 the way the tracker fell off right there. We'll see how it does this time. Kind of follows almost the same pattern, a little better.
Chad's got a lot of experience, guys. He's won 8 ARCA races. That's a pretty good feat to win that many ARCA races. His finishing record here hasn't been that good, though. 29th place been his best finish here at Gateway. But he's trying to change that. He's got a great car in this Braun Racing Toyota. It's been good.
He won't have to worry about making the field. He's guaranteed a spot, but that 35.04, quite a bit slower than the fastest car, Kyle Busch, at 33.5 seconds.
Well, he did pick up a half a second on that second lap, so that was the good news. Take a look at the 20 car as you look at Brad Coleman in the Gibbs Racing machine. As this season, Joe Gibbs Racing has led 2,070 laps and 8 wins in Roush Fenway Racing. Another 818 with 5 more. That's 83% of all the laps we've run.
That doesn't leave a lot of room for other cars, does it, Rusty?
It doesn't leave much room at all, but one thing it does do for this young driver is put a lot of pressure on him. He knows that every time this car goes out, I'm not going to say every time, but a lot of times this car's won. He knows he's got a fast car, and he's got to get it done. And if he doesn't, he's going to feel some pressure.
Well, and Dave Burns has caught up with Kyle Busch.
I sure have, Marty. He signed some autograph and some bottles of NOS for the fans. That's kind of nice. Kyle, you just ran your 2 fastest laps of the weekend. How was the car?
It's not bad. You know, we concentrated everything yesterday on race trim stuff. Never did a qualifying run, so that wasn't bad. You know, it was decent. It might get beat, but you know, I felt pretty happy with the way the car drove. So hopefully, when we untape it and for tonight, it should be pretty good.
Now, today it didn't make that big of a difference, but who is picking your qualifying spot first again today?
I don't know. NASCAR does it. It's just a random draw, but. You know, it wasn't that bad. I mean, the weather's going to stay the same here from the beginning to the end, so that shouldn't hurt us too bad. If it was a hot, sunny day like it typically is here in Missouri, or I guess we're Madison, Illinois, wherever we are, you know, it might hurt us, but today it won't do anything. So, you know, the New Balance Toyota was good yesterday. We were excited about it. Hopefully today it'll keep going for us and be strong again tonight. Hopefully we can keep up to the 60.
And with the weather tonight, guys, it's already a good luck day for Kyle Busch.
Well, and as you finish up, a good lap on the second lap for Brad Coleman gets him in at 33.6 seconds, moves him right into the number 2 slot. Let's bring in another member of our team, Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, last night in practice, we had 2 incidents. 2 drivers go to backup cars. One was Stephen Wallace, the other Jason Keller. Now, because practice was only an hour last night, he didn't have a chance to get into his backup car. This will be the first time in the first lap's turn. However, Todd Gordon, his crew chief, told me this is actually a better car. Why? Because it's the newer body style. He brought the old one because this is a bumping and banging track. So they expect good things. Last time he ran was at Dover, and he finished 9th. So let's keep our eyes on him for qualifying.
Thanks for the update, and boy, the 27 looks a lot better now than it did last night.
Yeah, right here getting into turn 1, you see you get real loose, and you don't have a lot of room to catch the car.
Yeah, no room whatsoever. He got up in the dirty part of the racetrack, rear end hit the track, then around the front end comes and gets the front end too. You know, that really makes it bad. You hit with the back and you think that's all you've done, then you wipe the front out too. Boy, the guys back at the shop hate that part.
Well, and he is not known as a crasher, and there were a lot of people talking this morning around the garage area. They were surprised that he ended up in the wall. Take a look now at Eric Darnell, the 26-year-old from Illinois, as he could consider this a hometown track for him, Roush Fenway Racing. You know, they've started in the front row in the last 4 races of the season, and right now, currently 3rd at 33.8, so Kyle's time is holding up.
That's about 4/10 slower than Eric Darnell ran in practice yesterday or last night, and conditions were absolutely perfect last night. Cool and dark, and track had a lot of grip in it, but it's nice right now. It looked like he kind of overdrove the corner right there and got on the brakes a little hard and it slid up the racetrack.
You know, he had the pole position a couple weeks ago when we were at Milwaukee, so he knows how to get it done. Let's see what this second lap is, see if he picks up any whatsoever. Oh yeah, big pickup, 33.66. Still 3rd though, just barely. Brad Coleman barely beat him for 2nd at the moment, so a very close time between Coleman and Darnell.
And as you see, Carl Edwards, who was also on the very quick list last night in final practice. Let's check in with Dave Burns. He got more?
Well, Marty, as he gets up to speed, keep in mind that this qualifying session is doubly important. When they qualify tonight, the order in which they end up for the starting grid is the order in which they're allowed to pick their pit stalls. But it's doubly important because it also counts for next week at O'Reilly Raceway Park. That's because with a packed schedule and a one-day show, NASCAR doesn't have a whole lot of time to get these guys all together, the top 30 anyway, and get them to pick their pits randomly, or to get them to pick their pits. But also, the pit stalls are so tight at the O'Reilly Raceway Park that they want to give the teams plenty of time to get their stuff ready. So Carl's pit position tonight is important, and it also counts for next week how he qualifies.
And of course, you'll see that race right here on ESPN2 next week as Carl gets ready to make his run. He was second fastest in the final practice, and you can see the lap tracker is up in the green through turns 3 and heading for 4.
Okay, he ran a 33.30 in practice yesterday, and that track record is a 33.24. So he's real close to it in practice, and he's going to be a little off of that on this first lap, but it is on the pole, 33.37.
That's right. It does bump Kyle Busch down to the second spot, so Dan Stillman will be happy with that, and wait to see if he can go quicker on the second.
Now, we've had 2 cars pick up on their second lap quite a bit, so this could happen to Carl, and it looks like he's tracking better right now, Andy.
A 1/10 of a second faster than his first lap on the backstretch. He can carry, yeah, oh yeah, he carries it down in the corner here, but losing just a little ground. Starting to pick it back up, though. So he may end up getting that track record if he can get just a little bit more here.
33.283. Oh, so close. The track record is 33.246. And of course, Carl, one of 3 former winners in tonight's race. Let's take you back and show you his 2. Of course, he did it in the even years in 2006. Yeah, we're familiar with that backflip. And then did it again just last year. And actually, that 60 car has won here 3 times. Greg Biffle also won here in that car years ago. No one's won 3 times individually. There you can see his starts entering Gateway, comparing 08 and 09, guys.
Hey, it's awful close to results, right? You take a look at that, top 10s, 08, 10 of them, 14, 2009. Tracking right on schedule, guys.
And if he holds on to the pole position, it will be his 17th in the NASCAR Nationwide Series. Getting ready now for the next car out onto the track. And Jason Keller.
Boy, you sure would like to have a lap or so just to shake a car down to see if you've got anything rubbing or just to set the skirt heights. But this car here, they have to go out here and make a qualifying run right off the truck after going to a backup car.
And that's tough to do, really. And you mentioned one key thing right there, Andy, the skirt height. The white portion of the front of the car, folks, right on the bottom on the nose, that's made out of plastic, a little kind of a trick material that's made to rub off. But if that hits too hard, it can really upset the driver, and that'll just drive him completely crazy.
He's done a great job, though, in this first lap. He's only a couple of tenths off of his fastest lap last night. So that's actually a really good job for Jason and the team. You got to give him a lot of credit for getting this car right for qualifying. They're going to actually maybe pick it up a little bit here.
Comes to the checkered flag. Survey says 33.9. So he's going to be on the outside of row number 3. And with this effort tonight, he'll cross the $13 million mark in career earnings. Divisional pole sitter right now, that is Carl Edwards, as he has turned in a time of 33.28 seconds, just so close, 4 1/100ths off of the track record. And right now, out on the track is Kevin Conway, looking to make his first start here at Gateway and his 17th of his young Nationwide Series career.
Yeah, he looks like he's slowing down on this second lap.
Turned to 34.03. That would put him 7th currently, but we got a lot of cars to go. That's not going to be all that great.
He actually does slow down a couple of tenths on the second lap.
So he'll slide into the number 7 spot right now as we go trackside. Talk to Carl Edwards. How about it, Dave?
There's actually a lot of talking going on down here right now, Marty. Carl is explaining to Michael Tam, his engineer, and to Dan Stillman, his crew chief, exactly what he felt. And one of the interesting things is on this teammate-driven sport, you got some information before he went out there that was quite helpful, I heard.
Yeah, it was really nice of Eric to to talk to me a little bit about what his Northern Tool Fusion did. And just really proud of my guys. I mean, they brought a rocket ship here. I mean, this Save-A-Lot car is good, and they couldn't have picked a better place to bring a fast race car. I love racing here at Gateway. It's a real fun few weeks for me to get to race close to home. You know, Chicago, here, Indy, and it's going to be fun tonight.
Did Eric's information help you do something or not do something on the track?
It just helped me to kind of have a plan. You know, here you don't. It's not really important because the second lap was fastest, so you get that first lap to kind of feel it out. But his information allowed me to go a little harder that first lap, and it was actually a good lap, better than I probably would have run if he hadn't talked to me. So it was good.
All right, Carl, the provisional pole sitter right now, guys.
And remember, we talked about Greg Biffle winning in that number 60 car that was back in July of '02. Carl Edwards made his first NASCAR Nationwide Series start here at Gateway in that very race. And here he is driving that car. All right, let's take a look now as Mike Harmon is out on the track, and lap tracker is bottoming out. You see 36.11 seconds on lap number 1.
Yeah, that's way off the pace. He is guaranteed a spot because of points, so he'll probably have to rely on those to get in the field tonight.
Well, he's raced 3 times before here at Gateway. His best start was 34th, and his best finish was 30th.
A little water blowing out the overflow. You see that coming out at the windshield base on the right-hand side. That's just a little steam you see coming out. They put a lot of tape on the front end of these cars, and they won't run but a lap or 2 before that steam starts coming out.
There'll be 9 out of 9 cars so far that have taken the checkered flag. 35.44 seconds, his best. Let's check in again with Jamie Little.
Well, Marty, it's like the youth movement here. 17 drivers in this field are looking to make the field are 25 or younger. One of them, 22-year-old Stephen Light. Second and fourth in practice. How good is this car?
Tell you what, this Holiday Inn Holiday Inn Express Chevy Impala is very good. I'm so proud of these guys. They're doing such a great job. It's a pleasure to drive this thing when it's that good. Last night we were fast in practice. Car felt great, never fell off in our long runs we made. We actually made a mock run last night. We ran like a 38, and I messed up 2 of my turns. So I feel like this is the first time I feel like we actually have a shot at the pole for the first time ever. So I'm excited. I feel like I got a teen in this thing, at least a low 20. So we'll see what we can do.
All right, Stephen, you're all happy, but look at this. Clint Boyer, your teammate, he gets his name on for the rest of the year. Tell me, does that motivate you a little more, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I hope it brings good luck. You know, he won the first race of the year, and hopefully it brings good luck. It doesn't bother me at all. As long as I'm in this thing, I'd race it full time with his name on it, as long as I was getting to race this thing, as long as I'm in the driver's seat.
Well said. He's in the car for the next 3 weeks, Marty.
And he had a very consistent race car yesterday in both practice sessions. As we take a look now at Michael Annette, Germain Racing, as you can see lap tracker here on lap number 1. Michael goes 34.14. That'll move him into the 8th spot.
That's a lot slower than he ran yesterday in practice.
It's awful high. Look how high he is, Andy. He's just, his car's doing something wrong, and you see our lap tracker really falling off.
Yeah, he was 13th in happy hour session last night, and that lap he just ran is quite a bit off of that time that he ran in practice. And getting slower. This lap here is actually worse than his first lap.
Yeah, I'm watching both corners. He's getting into turns pretty deep and sliding way up the middle of the racetrack. Doesn't look like he's not even trying to keep it on the bottom.
I've never driven this racetrack, but it looks like one of those tracks you could easily overdrive the entrance.
Oh, absolutely, because it's flat. I mean, you got to get it in the corner pretty deep and get on the brakes pretty hard. And
As I got in the corner, I mean, it just hopped the whole car up.
Well, he runs a 34.14 as his best lap fell off almost 0.4 of a second in lap number 2. You know, Jamie was talking about the young group of drivers that we have, 17 that are 25 or younger, where they also don't have to worry about as many Cup regulars. The guys getting ready for next week at Indianapolis. Normally we average between 9 and 10 in a race. Tonight we only have 4. Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch, Carl Edwards, Reed Sorenson, and only Kyle Busch has yet to win at this track among those 4. So as we all go about the trackside again, talking about young guys, how about Scott Lagasse Jr.? He's out getting ready for his qualifying run. There he goes, whipping by.
Yeah, Scott's been pretty impressive. I talk every week about how that involvement with Joe Gibbs Racing has really helped this team. the performance this year is definitely night and day difference from last year, and he's doing a real good job.
Yeah, I talked to him in the garage area this morning, actually, and you know, they seem to have a better start to their season than they have been lately. And I asked him if he could put his finger on it, and you know, naturally you can't, because if you could, you'd fix it. But he said it has been a little frustrating the last few weeks, because even last week he said they had a great car, didn't qualify well, but started at the back and had made a lot of progress toward the front. And then after the first pit stop, he said they just couldn't go like they had. So just really struggling here lately.
This will be his first Nationwide Series start here at Gateway, but he did run the Truck Series back in 2006, qualified 28th, moved up to 21st.
Yeah, look at this right here now. He's tracking second on this second lap. Great first lap, too, a 33.78. Looks like if he can carry this speed through 3 and 4, it's kind of a good starting spot.
Yeah, it's definitely faster. Look at that, just staying above our tracker, staying above the previous line quite a bit, even off of turn 4, so quite a bit better.
Pretty good looking run, 33.68 seconds. His second lap a little bit quicker. That moves him into the number 5 position provisionally, as we still have a lot of cars to come, including Stephen Wallace, Danny O'Quinn. And there is Stephen. Rusty, you might want to close your eyes, because folks, if you weren't with us last night, Stephen had a little problem coming out too.
Ouch. Oh, they just need to move that wall. He tried.
Yeah, he tried to. Looks like he tried to carry just a little bit too much speed off turn 2.
He told me the car got a little loose. He stayed in the throttle. Didn't hurt the car real bad, but hurt it enough that they need to bring a backup car out. They just didn't want to lose any time, and he likes this car.
Yeah, he did. I talked to him after he ran his first run in it. Said he liked it just as much, if not better, than the primary car.
Even with the reduced amount of time, he was still 18th fastest in last night's practice. You got lap tracker as he makes his way through 1 and 2.
Yeah, the one thing they had yesterday, they tried to make a mocked-up qualifying run in practice, and they were rubbing that left front tire on the top of the fender. So it looks like they fixed that. It went in turn 1 right there, and it looked clean, no smoke.
He's had 2 top 10 starts here at Gateway in 3 races that he's run. His best start was 4th back in 06. He's got the bottom of the racetrack. A little twitch there coming out of 4. Here comes lap number 1.
See Trip Bruce there ready to trip the watch, and he does. He's going to see a 34.11. That's actually slower than he ran in practice last night with this car.
So that'll put him 9th right now. See if he can pick it up here in lap number 2.
Now that car's way off the bottom of the racetrack. It needs to be lower on the course to run faster. Looks like he's got a little bit better second lap going. He's going to have to try to pick it up now on the entry into turn 3 now. Keep that car low on the track. Yeah, see, it just gets off the bottom of the track more than it needs to be. But looks like I got a better lap, though.
Definitely going to be quicker.
Heading for the stripe. And it's 33.8 seconds. That'll move him into the number 6 spot, at least for now. 12 cars have taken times. More to come. Back here at Gateway International Raceway, Nationwide Series qualifying, and Matt Carter has just completed his 2 laps. His best was 33.8 seconds, moves him into the number 8 spot. His papa, Travis, should be pretty happy with that.
I think he'd be real happy. Since Matt's been in this car, he's been very good. It looks like the performance of this car has actually picked up since he's been in the seat. That's a good lap right there for Matt.
Well, he finished 15th. That was his best finish this year, back at Daytona just a few weeks ago. Take a look now as you've got Brendan Gaughan on the track. Brendan, 2nd in the Rookie of the Year point standings behind Justin Allgaier.
You see right there where, in turn 1 where that tracker turned green. Sometimes that's an indication of overdriving the corner.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen the second lap. He's going to go, oh, I messed up there. I can't get in the corner that deep, because he got way high in the corner, and that's not what you want.
He was 3rd fastest in the first practice session yesterday, and just a little bit off of that in the happy hour session, but he was still in the top 20. Brian Berry, the crew chief.
Let's watch him get down to turn 1, see if he does a little better job this time. Well, still real high.
It's just so, it looks like it's just so easy to overdrive that entrance.
Yeah.
It's killed him there. He's going to have to, yeah, he'll have to probably just bring it on in this lap.
Lost it, almost wrecked it into 1.
Well, you heard him. Said I almost wrecked
bring it in then. No reason to run the rest of this lap.
Both the guys have got both US Fidelis cars this weekend, the sponsors from around here, and they're trying pretty hard to impress those guys, and they're both overdriving them, looks like.
Well, Brendan has had some success here. Right now, his lap at 33.8 Puts him in the 7th position. Let's take you back to that win back in July of 2003 as he brought the Orleans machine with fireworks in the background. He was one happy guy that night. All right. So he'll be right now in the 7th position. Carl Edwards is still the man to beat at 33.28 seconds. Next up will be Kevin Harvick in his machine with the Jimmy John sponsorship. And Jamie, let's check in with you down in pit lane.
Well, I found another young gun, and that's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Of course, last time we saw you in the car was Milwaukee. You finished 5th, led 46 laps. What does that do for your confidence when you come to a track like this for the first time?
Definitely helps my confidence. These City Financial guys unloaded with a really good car, and it took me a little while to get up to speed, but definitely got my confidence back since the beginning of the season where I started out there. But all our guys are doing a great job, and looking forward to tonight.
All right, it's Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but I hear you want us to call you. What do you want us to call you?
Oh, no, that's fine. Just Stenhouse Jr. instead of Steinhaus. I don't know where they get it. I was talking to Ray Evernham at the dirt track the other night, and he was like, I don't know where they get Steinhaus from, but, you know, it's Stenhouse, and glad to have it.
Stenhouse Jr. is here to stay, and we have a new pole sitter right now, Marty.
Yeah, you were finishing up. Kevin Harvick runs 33.27 seconds, which is just 3 100ths off of the track mark, and he's still hovering right in that line. Maybe he can get it.
But it looks fast. I mean, Andy and I were just looking at the nose of this car. It's right on the ground, real low. It looks better than any car we've seen so far out there.
I did. I made a point to show it to Rusty just to point at it because it's so hard to get the front end of these cars really stable on the
Just shattered the front both laps, but not all that bad, I don't think. Where are we? You're on the pole.
I'd say not bad.
That's not bad. Hey, and his driver in the Truck Series, Ron Hornaday Jr., is going to be on pole tonight from the race at Kentucky. And that'll be the 13th truck pole for KHI. Let's check in with Dave Burns.
And Marty, one of his new corporate teammates, Stephen Wallace, just qualified his backup car. You felt kind of in between your fast laps of the weekend, so how was the handling on the car?
I felt like our U.S. Fidelis Chevrolet was, pretty decent. Fortunately, this is our backup car, so we didn't really have a lot of time to run it last night. Feel like so far it's pretty good. We definitely need to make some adjustments here for the race. I was just, a little too tight there for qualifying, kind of shattered my left front wheel, so that's got me kind of nervous a little bit. But granted, we were full tightness right there, with all of our adjustments. So I think we'll be all right. But we do have to start in the back, so we just got to stay patient, run all night, and I think we'll get a pretty good finish for these guys. We've got 3,000 U.S. Fidelis race fans up here tonight, so it's not a good week to bring a backup car out, but man, I really feel strong that we'll be all right and we'll have a good race.
Marty? Well, and as you guys were talking, everybody at home saw that Eric McClure had problems and scraped the wall and is
right
trying
in the pin. I tried to get out of it and turn.
Yeah, I don't know if he had a problem getting in that corner that caused him to get in the wall, but right on this entry right here.
Let's watch his left front tire. Yeah, locked up the tire.
Well, there's a lot of smoke out front of that hood. He could have had a problem with an oil line or something else there that may have put oil on the tire.
Andy, one thing I've always had a problem with this race race. Watch one more time. He hits the bump. When he hits the bump, he's on the brakes at the same time, and the left front wheel actually jumps off the racetrack and locks it up. That's characteristic of this track, and I think we'll see some of that tonight.
And remember that Eric did not practice in the final session last night. He was 42nd quick in the one and only practice that he was involved in. Stay with us. We're back. Well, the backup car for Eric McClure is being pulled out of the hauler and will make its way into the garage area. And if you're just tuning in, let's show you exactly what happened one more time. Different angle here, guys.
Yeah, from this low angle, you can see here the car bottoms out right as he gets on that brake pedal. Just like you said, Rusty, you just lock that left front wheel up.
Well, you can see the Goodyear on the tire just stop, and that baby's sliding down there. It's only the right front tire is only one rolling, no steering. Because of that, into the wall.
So tough break for Eric, and they'll go to the backup car. Right now, let's check in. As you look at Danny O'Quinn Jr. on the track, Dave Burns, I think you've got our provisional pole sitter.
I sure do, and I was looking at the time charts, and I know your car was good, but where'd the 27 come from?
Well, we never did a qualifying run yesterday, so we spent the first
all but the last half hour just trying some different stuff, trying to find something different from what we normally did. With about a half hour left in practice yesterday, we put our normal stuff back in and just kind of went off of last year's truck notes as far as what we did for qualifying. So Jimmy John Chevrolet drove really good. The driver drove it into both corners too far and made the front chatter, but like the balance of the car for what it should feel like in race trim, a little bit free up off the corners, and we'll go from there.
Kevin, you pulled yourself out of the car for those changes. Did you miss the practice, or, I mean, is it just such old hat to you that you really didn't miss anything?
Well, I think a little bit's, it's kind of the old hat, wise tale, I guess you could say. But, for the most part, you have one set of tires, so you have to manage your tires well. And with all the time that we got in practice, we really didn't have enough tires to make that many laps anyway. So we did the same thing last week, and luckily, RWI and Steve Wallace and those guys bailed us out with the setup that we went to the track with in their car and what they had learned in practice. And we put that in, didn't make a lap in practice last week and ran in the top 5. So this week we decided that we needed to practice, so it worked out okay.
All right, and Marty will stand by and see if anybody can beat that 33.27. That's a good lap.
Well, Danny O'Quinn did not. 34.32 puts him in the number 14 spot. Let's talk about what's coming up. We've got qualifying tonight at 7 Eastern as soon as we get wrapped up here with our qualifying for the NHRA. And then the finals are tomorrow at 9 Eastern, also on ESPN2. And, of course, tonight, right after NHRA qualifying from Seattle, we'll be back here at Gateway for the race at 9 Eastern. Traxxas Torque Truck Series presented by Amsoil. That's tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And then NASCAR Now presented by the Home Depot, Monday 5 Eastern, also on ESPN2. And speaking of the Wallace family, who was born and raised not too far from here, here's Kenny Wallace. As he's out on track right now. His first lap at 33.92 would put him 12th, guys.
And boy, he is pumped up for this race right here. This is everything in the world to him. He's got all his family, all his friends. They're all out here, Andy.
Yeah, he had a booth out front there with his fan club. This is a big race. This is a hometown race for all the Wallace family. I guess you didn't have a home track until they built this Gateway International Speedway.
Yeah, I only got to race here one time, too. In 2005, I brought my own car and raced it here and learned a lot about this track. It's a great place to race and a great place to learn for different racetracks also.
Very consistent. Within 100th of a second on both laps. 33.92 is his best. It'll keep him in the number 12 spot, and it'll be his 437th start, second all-time in the series. You heard him on the radio. Jamie, I think you're with another guy who calls this his hometown track, right?
He sure does. Justin Allgaier from 80 miles north of here. What's it like to come back here for the first time in the Nationwide Series?
It's really been awesome. You know, the fans have really taken to what we're doing here, and it's fun to be back home. You know, Gateway's a racetrack that I've loved coming to, and we've had some success in other series here, so hopefully we can get the Verizon Wireless Dodge up front. There's last I heard, there's about 1,600 people that bought tickets to sit in our section this weekend, so we got to do a good show for them.
A lot of fans for you. Now, yesterday after first practice, you weren't thrilled. Told me second practice, totally different setup. What'd you think in the end?
Definitely liked it. You know, we tried some things that we really didn't feel like worked at the end of practice there, but over the course of the night, we felt like we had a really good race car, and Chad Wallace and all the guys do such a great job of trying to make it to my liking, and we just got to make sure that we can keep up with the 60 and the 33 and the 18. Those guys usually are really extremely good, so if we can keep up with them tonight, I think that we'll have a good shot at least getting a good top 5 finish for all the people that come out and support us at the home track.
Well, there's a lot of Justin Allgaier fans out here as well as Wallace fans, Marty.
Yeah, we had a shot while you were talking to him, and they're all in their T-shirts. As you're looking at Reed Sorenson right now, he's currently third with his first lap at 33.4. He's never been on pole, but he's won twice here.
This is his racetrack. For some reason, he just really takes to this racetrack.
And watching the nose of this car is very, very close to what Kevin Harvick's cars look like as far as attitude, as far as the nose being way down.
Oh, gets a little loose right there, though.
Let's see if that's going to hurt him, because he was a 33.40 third quick so far.
Carried a lot of speed through that corner, but he got a little bit loose in the middle of 3 and 4. He does it. A new track record, guys.
Whoa.
This is where we need Tom Carnegie from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, that booming voice. It's a new track record. 33.157 and 135.7.
All right. Boy, what a big pickup. 2.5 tenths from lap 1 to lap 2.
And that's even with him sliding a little bit through 3 and 4.
What does he know about this track? I don't know what it is.
All right, let's show you the highlights of this man. He seems to like the even numbered years, or the odd numbers, I should say, as Reed has won here twice, 05, then comes back in 07. Guess what? This is 09. Maybe
this might be the one.
Might be the third.
Those were Chip Ganassi's cars, I remember. And boy, those guys had that going on then.
Take a look at his stats here at Gateway. 4 starts, 2 wins, not bad, and 3 top 5s total, and his average finish 8.7. If you could do that at every track, you'd be Superman.
Yes, you would.
All right, as he pulls in, we'll get a chance to talk to him after he catches his breath and debriefs. And we'll go back out trackside as we'll get ready for Mike Bliss.
This will be a car that'll threaten the pole of Reed Sorenson. He was fast in practice also. This car's been pretty fast. A lot of places we go, this car is really, really fast.
He was 6th quick in the final practice at 33.4.
Well, his lap 1 is actually faster than Reed Sorenson, so if he can pick up the same amount, he's going to grab this front row.
Got a good run down the back stretch. He's going to have to pick up a little bit down here in 3 and 4, but he's about 700s off the pole. It's going to be hard to do.
Boy, look at lap tracker. He is right on the number, coming out of 4. This is going to be close. Does he take the pole away? Mike Bliss, not quite. 33.32, and he will be in the number 4 position as of right now. We've had a total of 20 cars take times, and let's check in now with Jamie Little.
Well, Reed Sorenson, provisional pole sitter. His teammate, Jason Leffler, you watched that and kind of shook your head and smiled. What do you think? Can you guys beat that?
I hope so, but that was a heck of a lap. The Great Clips car is really fast, so as long as I don't overdrive and hit my marks, we'll qualify pretty well. And it'll definitely pay off for tonight to get that clean air. But the guys are doing a great job, and looking forward to tonight. So I don't know. I'd like to say I can beat him, but I don't know. My qualifying hasn't been greatest lately.
Well, let's see what he has to say, Dave.
Well, Reed, looking over the numbers after that run, we heard you say it wasn't premium quality handling, but it was fast.
Well, it was pretty good. It's just the first corner I took, I got a little looser than I thought, because we didn't really get too loose yesterday in our mock run, and it was a little bit freer this time. So we were too tight in race trim, so maybe that means we'll be a little bit better tonight than I think we will. So these guys do a great job, so hopefully we'll have some fun tonight.
What'd your crew chief tell you about every other driver that has a loose race car in this car?
Well, I think in the Nationwide car, you want to be a little bit free in qualifying to be able to turn good at night. So, you know, he's been doing this a lot more in the past year than I have, so hopefully the Dollar General car will be good.
He did say that. Trent Owens told him, we'll be good this way, guys.
So far, he is very good, and they're looking at Trevor Bayne, the youngest in the field at age 18. That's right, he's only 18 years old, and he had a career best second at Nashville for qualifying back in June. This would be his 6th start as of tonight. Second lap's falling off, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, this is a wheel man. Just watching the few races he's run, he is really talented.
Well, he puts it into the number 6 position with that 33.5-second run on the first lap. There's more to come. Back here at Gateway International Raceway, where qualifying continues, you take a look at Ken Butler. He is wrapping up his 2 laps. First lap was 34.13 seconds. That puts him in the number 17 spot. Here comes the checkered flag on lap number 2. And he moves it up a little bit. He'll move into the number 16 spot at 34.003. So while he coasts on out, let's talk about tomorrow night. It's a special night of sports action on ESPN. First, Sunday Night Baseball starts at a special time, 6 Eastern. The Mets face National League East rivals Atlanta. Then at 9, don't miss the 2009 ESPYs and host Samuel L. Jackson. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell, and the 09 ESPYs presented by Under Armour and Land Rover. So as we get ready now, coming down the front straightaway, getting the flag. On the run is the 34 of Tony Raines.
Tony's another driver that a lot of different teams put in their cars. It seems like he can always get the cars qualified good. He's a real solid driver, a little bit of Cup experience. In fact, Andy, I believe, has been toying around with Cup a lot this year.
Yeah, he has been. He's one of those guys, like I said, just a solid utility driver. And I'm sure he'd like to be out here doing something in a full-time role instead of doing the things that he has to do to stay active in racing. But He's got a good car right here. You see he's got a sponsor on the car.
He's had 5 prior starts here at Gateway, but the last one was back in 2005. You can see right now he's 16th with lap number 1 at 33.9.
He's had some pretty good runs here, though, just like you said, Marty. I mean, his best finish here is 5th in 2002, so he definitely knows how to get around this racetrack. See, the lap track looks like it's just a little bit better. Well, a little bit slower. It's kind of faster, slower. That's one thing I like about this lap tracker. You chase it, you think you're going somewhere, then all of a sudden it goes the other way.
How would you like to have that up on the dash when you can, after you make your first lap, you can see where you're getting beat?
Yeah. I would probably wreck. That's what happened.
All right, Tony's going to slide into the number 15 slot, 33.92 seconds. Brad Keselowski has yet to make his qualifying effort, but Jamie Little's caught up with him.
And he's patiently waiting. And, you know, he was quoted at one time as saying, this is the best short track car you guys have. It's since been rebuilt. Do you still have the same opinion?
Yeah, I do. It's ran really good off the truck and just got rebuilt, like you said, and kind of as a copy to the car we had at Phoenix, and Richmond ran really strong there. So I'm excited about it. I think we can run well here, and we've really worked hard on this program for these type of flat tracks where it's kind of a hybrid between a short track and a speedway, so you've got to be fast on the straightaway, but also through the corners. So we've been working real hard on that program, and I think we've got a strong degree Chevrolet to maybe go make a run for the pole.
Brad, tonight we're going to see double file restarts at Gateway for the first time. I know you have an opinion.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one heck of a show. So if you think qualifying's exciting, stay tuned for the race, because turn 1's going to be hairy.
What do you think about that, Rusty?
Well, I think he's probably right, to tell you the truth. I mean, I think when you get down to turn 1, and it's so tight getting into turn 1, they're going to run out of real estate real quick. So it's a flat racetrack, and I totally agree with him.
21-year-old Ricky Stenhouse Jr. now on the track, and you can see as he's getting ready to come across the line for lap number 1. And the time stops at 33.62 seconds. That slots him into the number 7 position.
Yeah, that turn 4 right then. I mean, he picked up a lot of time coming off of turn 4. He was tracking 10th or 11th quick and got a lot better right there.
Yeah, he drove down into turn 1, though, and he's just like a lot of drivers we've seen. You can see it go into the green on the tracker, and then the car goes up the racetrack. And it's just a sign of actually overdriving the entry, and it really hurts the rest of the corner.
Lap 2's looking better. This will be his 5th start. It's his best career start and finish was at Milwaukee back in June. 4th on the start, 5th on the finish, and look at that.
Well, I tell you, he is definitely strong off of turn 4. I mean, both laps in a row, he's made all his gains on the exit of turn 4 and
picks up a couple of tenths.
Yeah, he's 5th quick right now.
33.41 seconds for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
That's a big gain to second lap. 2 tenths.
Yeah,
that's good job.
One of the biggest pickups we've seen of the top cars there.
Yeah, we even said his name right. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. All right.
Well, next up it'll be Jason Leffler. He's already on his warm-up lap. As Ricky pulls in, you'll see Jason come flying into the screen. There he is. And you can see that in his season, he has 14 top 10s in 18 races. And if you were with us yesterday, we told you about this. He talked to us and said, all I want is a win.
Yeah, you know what he's thinking right now? My teammate's on the pole. I got the same car. Hope I can do it.
Well, he's had 8 career poles in 206 starts, and lap tracker's a little bit in the red right now.
Drives down over the apron, actually, over that white line. Not sure that's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah, it's not where you want to be, but it doesn't look like it hurt that car. He didn't get down so far to upset the balance of it. Still okay.
See Scott Zipadelli over there using his stopwatch to keep up with the lap times.
Currently, he's 8th, 33.5 seconds. You know, he's finished on the lead lap in the last 17 races, and that's the longest current streak in this series.
Well, his teammate was a 33.40 the first lap, and he's at 33.50, so only a 10th behind him.
He's tracking fast for this lap. We heard him say down there if he hit his marks and didn't overdrive the corner that he would have a fast lap, and it looks like he's a little more conservative this time on that entry. It's going to pay off for him.
He's definitely going to be quicker. 33.3, and he moves up to the number 4 position.
That's a great qualifying run for him. I mean, that's very close to his teammate. And
1A, bud. That's a P4. Too tight, buddy. Way too tight.
Well, we've got Rusty Wallace up here. We've seen Kenny Wallace. Do you think we've run out of Wallaces? Jamie, can you answer that question for us?
I'm surrounded by him down here. We have Stephen Wallace, and look who I bumped into, Mike Wallace. And
you
Mike,
the best to last, right?
I did. We did. You're in the 0 car this weekend. You guys are a go or go homer. What is it like coming to your home track knowing you have to qualify on time?
You want the honest truth?
Yes, honest.
It's miserable. You know, happy to be here in St. Louis. Look down in turn 1 and 2. It's the Wallace family grandstands from the big tribute race a few years ago. Love coming back here. Grew up at Tri-City Speedway up the street, racing a lot of dirt cars, but a lot of pressure right now in Johnny Davis's car. Got a plain white car, can use a sponsor on it to go on, but we're going to get in this race and have a good night.
You pretty confident in your guys' ability?
I don't have any choice. I have to have confidence. You know, you got to get it done, and I think we'll be okay.
All right, we'll be watching. Good luck. Marty?
Who we're watching right now is Justin Allgaier, the 23-year-old rookie. And, ooh, he was doing real good. Had a little slip up coming through 3 and into 4.
He's got another lap to improve on it, but still a decent lap. Look at the fans clapping over there.
And his 33.5 puts him 9th currently.
Okay, he's got another shot at it here. He's tracking in the green. Oh,
hang on.
Well, he tried.
We call that big loose right there.
Man, when you can see the side of the car and all the decals, you know.
Tight in, tight in the middle, loose off.
Yeah, we'll say it's loose off.
No kidding.
Nice save. And you know what? I mean, his voice was really calm. I'd have been about an octave or 2 higher, I think.
You see Chad Walter, the crew chief. He didn't see what we saw.
Yeah. we got to watch this again. I just want to see this one more time.
Okay, he's really hot-footing it off this corner. Man, that thing just... Oh, I mean, he was a quarter-inch from that wall.
He was.
Like I said, when you can see all the decals on the side of the car, you know you are crossed up. Justin Allgaier makes a great save. Oh, stay with us. 26 cars have taken times here in St. Louis. Back here at Gateway International Raceway, we're getting back under control after Justin Allgaier did everything but hit the wall. And here comes Kelly Byers as his first lap at 34.1 puts him 22nd in the field.
Bright looking color on that paint. I love that paint scheme. I think so. You can see it forever.
It stands out.
Well, the one thing the team doesn't like is that quarter panel being vacant because they just need a primary sponsor for this car.
This is Brad Doherty and Ted Schechter's team. And they've got a fast car. They got the equipment. They got what they need.
Kelly Byers has done a great job in these cars over the last couple of years. He's got 62 starts, and he has a second-place finish last year at Dover.
Well, his second lap, 33.92, and that puts him into the 18th position. Let's do another reminder for you, because coming up after we get finished here at 7 o'clock tonight on ESPN2, we'll have qualifying for the NHRA from Seattle. And then their finals are tomorrow at 9 Eastern here on ESPN2. And then right after they get finished with qualifying at 9 Eastern, you're back here with us at Gateway for the Nationwide Series race, 9 Eastern time. Then Traxxas Torque Truck Series presented by AMSOIL. That's tomorrow morning, 11:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2. And then we'll wrap it up on Monday with NASCAR Now, presented by the Home Depot, 5 Eastern, also on ESPN2.
It's Michael McDowell. He was the driver of that 47 car earlier in the year. Now he's in this 81 car.
We got a new sponsor this weekend, the Missouri Illinois Dodge Dealers. I noticed that just popped up on the car, so got a little money for this race. That's good.
10th quick in the final practice also, which was a big boost for that team. And while we continue to watch this, we're going to check in with Dave Burns to see if Justin Allgaier's pulse went up a little bit.
Yeah, he looks okay, Marty. You want to see the replay?
I would. You know, I know what happened. Just got down into 1 and 2 and trying to get everything we can on the qualifying run here. A little bit tight on entry into the middle and just try to get back in the gas a little bit too early. And it started to come around. It was better to abort the lap than to, you know, wreck it. And we got a lot of fans here tonight that want to see us start the race where we qualified. And, you know, it's not horrible. I mean, we'd like to be up a little bit farther. But all in all, Verizon Wireless car is great and just ready to go to the front.
Might be fun to watch him pass a lot of cars, though, Marty.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night with a lot of guys going to be trying to pass here on this track. 10th is the position Michael McDowell finds himself in right now. His fast lap at 33.61 seconds at 133 and change.
Puts him in the top third of the cars that have qualified so far.
And as he coasts on in, let's check in once again with Jamie Little.
And I'm joined now by Stanton Barrett. Marty, of course, you and I both seen him in the IndyCar Series this year, and of course over here on the NASCAR side of things. So how is it going this weekend so far?
It's been rough a little bit in practice, but towards the end of the night, we made some really positive changes in the car, and hopefully it'll show for it today.
Well, you're always smiling, and you just told me how much fun it is here. So how much a part of this qualifying effort is just having fun?
You try to have a lot of fun, but when you have to get in the show, you know, you're not guaranteed. There's a lot of stress involved, but this is a really fun track to drive, and it's always fun to come here, and the fans are a lot of fun. So it's a very difficult track and brings you to your short track roots, and you got to remember you got to get up on the car and drive it hard so we can get in the race. So I hope we do, and I'm sure we'll have a good enough car to make it happen.
All right, Marty, certainly a range of emotions as we look at Stephen Light on the track.
Yeah, these are the last two of those guaranteed to have a starting position. And Stephen, we talked about the fact he's had a very consistent race car through practice yesterday. And right now, 33.39 puts him in the 6th position, guys.
That's still very solid qualifying run so far. Like he's given up a little bit on this lap so far.
Talked to him earlier. He said he really thought he had a car that could get on the front row for this race. Looks like he really drove that car down into turn 3 on that first lap, trying to make up some time. But still, that's a great run so far with a 33.39 that first lap. See what he can do the second lap.
Boy, lap tracker is almost identical. He comes oh so close to the wall coming out of 4. Brings it across the line. And 33.4 on the second lap, so he actually dropped off a little bit. So he'll stay in the number 6 position right now for Richard Childress Racing. Stephen Light.
Too tight. 3 and 4 way too tight. 1 and 2 was good. Just had to wait on those too long.
Now we got one more car to go here, Brad Keselowski, before this bumping process starts. All these cars that are not locked in the top 30 are going to have to get in on time, and that's where they get nervous. Those group of guys really get nervous knowing they have to qualify to make it in this race, and they're not locked in.
As you look at Brad, he has raced twice here before in the Nationwide Series at Gateway. His best start actually was back in 2008 at 20th, when he came back to finish in 5th. And I'm sure he wants to get a little better starting position tonight.
Well, one thing this team does is put a lot of emphasis on race trim and getting their car really handling well for the race. And sometimes you give up a little bit in qualifying when you do that.
Well, I tell you what, Andy, he killed turn 1 and 2. He flew through 1 and 2 right on the bottom of that line and continuing that into turn 3. This car
got something for him right here.
Oh, man, this car's flat flying.
Losing just a little bit on the exit. It's going to be a great lap, though.
First lap, 33.27 seconds. Puts him on the outside of the front row.
See how low that car is on a racetrack? I mean, that's what you want to do if you can do it. And most of the cars have really been picking up on this second lap, so see if he can pick up anything at all. And if he can, 1/10 of a second is what he needs, just a little over 1/10 of a second.
Okay. Brad has one pole at Milwaukee in June. Can he make it number 2 here at Gateway?
So close.
It's going to be close. Coming to the stripe and look at the clock. 33.15.
Awesome car, man. This thing's
what? Wait a minute.
You're P1, baby. You ain't gave it up yet.
We're going to have to get a verification
Really?
from NASCAR.
All right, how about that?
Because I thought Reed Sorenson was 33.157.
Yeah, it's something doesn't add up there. Our monitor's got it.
Okay, according to NASCAR scoring, he is on pole. So Brad Keselowski right now has bumped off Reed Sorenson. Stay with us. We're coming back. You can see the congratulations down in pit lane for Brad Keselowski, and we have checked with NASCAR officials, and they are saying that Brad is the provisional pole sitter right now. Although we show
we said it was going to be close. He was tracking awfully close coming off that corner, and it looks like they have apparently tied for that top spot to the thousandths of a second, and the tie would go to Brad Keselowski because of his point standing.
There you see Shelby Howard's 2 laps. He ran those while we were in commercial break. He is currently 16th. And remember, he is the first of our go or go home drivers. Next up will be Kevin LePage out on the track. And amongst the go or go homers, this was not a very fast car. Kevin was 14th quickest. And while this goes on, let's check in with Dave Burns.
With Brad Keselowski, who's signing a few autographs here for the fans. Just a bit of confusion followed by, hey, you're on the pole with a new track record. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Is it, I don't know, they said it was a 159 or is it 158? I don't know.
Oh, don't worry about the numbers. They said you're on the pole, NASCAR has, so we'll go with that for right now.
All right, well, that's good. That's, man, I'm so proud of these guys. You know, the second practice didn't go very well, but the first practice went real well, and we just kind of defaulted back to where we were, and I felt good about it, and it was good. It was fast. It wasn't easy to drive, but it was fast, and that's what's important. So happy for everybody. Degree got their V12 promotion now, and excited to be able to drive for them. And at the very least, I smell good. So even if I run bad, I smell good. So just happy to be here, and we're gonna have fun here in Gateway.
Marty, everything's a matter of opinion.
Oh, Brad has never stunk up the joint. Take a look at Kevin LePage. You saw his first lap, 34 and low change, and a second lap a little bit slower. Kevin into the 26th spot right now, and he is our second of our go and go home cars. While we've got a moment, let's talk about tomorrow night being a special night of sports action on ESPN. First up, we've got Sunday Night Baseball. It starts at a special time, 6 Eastern, as the Mets face Atlanta. Then at 9 Eastern, it's the 2009 ESPYs, hosted by Samuel L. Jackson. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell, and the 09 ESPYs presented by Under Armour and Land Rover. And as qualifying continues here, let's check in with Jamie Little. I think she's caught up with Morgan Shepherd.
I sure have. You know, we talk about these 17 drivers who are under the age or 25 or younger. How about this guy? There's 3 drivers trying to make the field that are 60 or over. How do you keep these young guys in check out there, Morgan?
Well, you know, I really don't know what these other guys' point is, but mine, this is my mission field for the Lord. And obviously it takes lots of bucks to stay here, and that's what makes the wheels turn. But we've been doing pretty good. I've missed some races here lately, so we did some serious testing this week, found 30 more horsepower. Got another car here at the track that's from Petty Motorsports. So we're looking forward to qualifying here just a little bit.
How are you feeling about your efforts of making it in the field?
Do what now?
How are you feeling about your efforts of making it?
I feel real good. We ended up like 22nd in practice, so we feel like we got a good shot at getting in.
All right, a lot of people putting their hands in, helping this guy out to keep him at the racetrack, Marty.
And you heard the reference to Petty Motorsports. How about 51 years ago today? King Richard Petty made his first NASCAR, what was then Grand National, now of course Sprint Cup Series start, Canadian National Exposition Speedway in Toronto. He started 7th. Unfortunately, he crashed. Finished 17th. It was a 1/3 mile dirt oval. Take a look at Mike Wallace, as he is currently 25th. Ran a fast time of 33.97 seconds.
That's a little faster than he ran in practice. He'll be happy with that.
All right. Now, we've talked about the fact that we had 2 cars at the same time, 33.158. And take a look at the owner standings.
And there's the difference. 4th to 10th in car owner points. And when you have a tie, that's what they go to for the tiebreaker. Goes to the 88 car.
So, hope that explains it for you. Out on the track right now, and the number 96 is Willie Allen. He was 9th quickest of those that are in that go or go home category.
Willie's best start's been a 4th place finish at Memphis back in 2006, and his best career finish at 28th, so it's not what he's wanting. But Willie's been a solid driver. He's run really good in the truck series, brought some of that experience over to here, and he's just trying to get this car in the field. Obviously, there's no sponsor on it, underfunded, and but at least he's here racing.
But his team, K Automotive, has a win here in the truck series with Terry Cook back in 2002, and Mike Bliss just happened to be on the pole that day in that race.
The left front of that car is just bouncing around quite a bit and really hurting his time right now. But his second lap, much better right now. Yeah, off a turn 2. Look at that, Andy, down that back straightaway.
Oh, yeah. He picked up quite a bit there. If he can hold this 3 and 4. Being a little bit high on the entry. You can see that left front wheel going back and forth. That means that the back end is kind of getting a little bit loose, and he's having to catch it with the steering. Oh, man, he uses up the whole racetrack coming off forward, but I think he's going to be happy with this lap.
He's got a good lap going.
Oh, yeah, 33.67,
Wow.
an awesome lap.
Boy, and that jumped him all the way up to 15th. So he goes from 30th, the first lap, to 15th on the second. And you're right, that's a bit of an improvement. Nice job for Willie Allen. I think that's a safe bet to say he's going to be around tonight. Let's go back out trackside. Chase Miller, who was 6th quickest. And all right, let's eavesdrop a little bit here, guys. What are they talking about?
But your hands is an unapproved adjustment. You got to go with the rear. So we're going to check.
Yeah, it looks like they're talking about anything that they do to this car, which is called an unapproved adjustment. He said anything other than touching it with your hand would be an unapproved adjustment. Now, they're looking at the front end here, where these cars hit these bumps and they go over the where that front skirt hits. Sometimes it'll bust that skirt.
You want to tape it, like say cross here and under and on the back side. No penalty.
All right, that's all we're going to do.
Yeah, if you put a pop rivet in because you're using a tool, it'll be an unapproved adjustment. Go to the rear. Tape.
Well, they're doing the right thing by getting a NASCAR official involved before they do anything. That way they don't give up their track position here. Right now, it's the pole. Looks like they have either a loose bolt right there or that skirt did slip when it hit one of those bumps. And they're going to let them tape it, which would be approved. They wouldn't have to go to the rear. If they do anything like put a pop rivet in it or use any wrenches, then that would be an unapproved adjustment.
Chase Miller's already recorded 1 lap. It puts him in the 22nd position right now at 33.9 seconds. And lap 2 is almost identical, Rusty.
Yeah, he's doing a good job right now. I mean, he just got to drive his brains out. These cars here, they are on full qualifying setups. In fact, what I mean by that, a lot of these cars have got to have a real full-blown race setup. But these guys just want to get in the race. So they got qualifying setups in them. Probably only going to last 3 or 4 laps before the car starts handling really bad. And that'll really hurt him.
Well, this will be Chase's 3rd race because it looks like he might be good enough to stay there. And let's take a look at the work. And
I'll tell you what, this aerodam they're working on right now, I had one time where we broke this piece off. And we had to go tailback because when we bottomed out in the racetrack, it broke the skirt off, Andy. And this probably made him nervous. You could tell maybe the bolts might have been left loose or something. Doesn't look bad to me. I don't know what the big hoo-ha's about.
Just can't go above this lip. They can put a piece right there.
I'll get some vinyl and cover the vinyl so it's the same color.
That's why.
Yeah, what they're doing right here will be fine. Like I say, Rusty, if that thing was broken, they would probably want to replace it and go to the back because it would be a definite disadvantage if it had a piece missing. But this right here, their skirt looks fine. If they get that tape on there and keep it secure, I think everything's going to be just fine for them.
Yeah, I think I ought to use yellow tape, though.
Yeah, I think I would, too.
That'd match the aerodam better. Look prettier.
That's the car owner in him talking, isn't it?
You got to have good-looking stuff. I'm all about that, man.
Rusty is all about good-looking stuff.
Take a look at Johnny Chapman right now. Of the Go homers, he was the fastest yesterday in practice. And right now, 33.7 would put him 18th in the field and 3rd quickest of the Go homers.
Hey, Johnny did not qualify last week at Chicago. And I tell you, that was the only time he didn't qualify in the last 10 races. So he's been really good at getting these cars in the field. And that's all they want to do is just make the race because they're probably going to pull him off the course when the race starts.
His best career start has been 11th. He's going to be close to that, and I don't think he's going to beat it here.
Comes across the finish line, lap tracker.
Picks it up a little.
Yeah, just a touch, 33.7. That'll make him 17th. And Dave Burns, you're at Brad Keselowski's car?
We are indeed, Marty, with Pop Suri, the crew chief down here, and he's looking over that excellent tape job approved by NASCAR. Is that going to hold up?
Yeah, it'll be fine. We got sort of valences pieced together there. It jerked the bung through the nose there on one side of it. So that's some pretty good tape, so I think it'll be fine.
All right, race ready, according to Pops.
And if he says it, I believe it. He knows his stuff. So they've got it all taken care of. And the only problem is it's not yellow. And that's got Rusty upset.
Got to be pretty, man. I have good-looking cars.
Okay, we've still got more Go homers. cars. National Raceway, you see Mark Green as he has done his qualifying run and has moved into the number 10 spot at a 33.48 seconds. So a great qualifying setup for this team.
And he's locked in the race right now. That locks him in the field, so he can feel comfortable.
Yeah, he is the first of our go or go home cars that is locked in. And you heard from Stanton Barrett a little bit earlier when he was talking with Jamie Little. Now he has to run quicker than Mr. Allen's time, 33.67 to guarantee himself.
Not going to do it way up the racetrack like that.
Look how high that car is coming down the back straightaway. That nose way up in the air, not what you want to do. Then it slams all the way down to the bottom, getting in the corner, and the car rolls over, and that is not what you want a car to look like.
No, you don't. That is absolutely not what you're looking for an attitude.
Well, Stan has run here 7 times before. His best start was 11th. His best finish was 9th. That was back in 03 for both of them. There we go again, right up high. And here comes the roller coaster on the lap tracker.
And he is the slowest of the cars that have to make it on speed, so he's going to have to pick it up here. And he is. He's tracking a little bit quicker.
They give me a wrench, I can go down and fix that thing a little bit.
What would you do to it?
I'd put a 1/4 inch more front sway bar, 200 pounds of spring in the right rear, and a little more rebound in those front shocks. I'll guarantee it make it look better.
Second lap is definitely going to be quicker, and Stanton runs a 34.28. That puts him 34th right now, and that is the slowest of the go or go homers. Jamie has caught up with another member of the Keselowski family.
And that would be Brian Keselowski. He is our last qualifier today, looking to make the race. Is this an advantage for you going last?
Well, it definitely lets me know what I have to run. Yesterday we had some issues with an engine. We only got 4 laps of practice, so we're really going to have to suck it up and pull a good lap out of this thing. But I think we got a good car to do it. I'm not so sure about the motor. It's an older motor, but we kind of had to shoehorn the thing in and got it in at the last minute. But I feel like we got a good car. We unloaded really good yesterday, and for the 4 laps of practice, it was pretty good. So, hopefully we can get it done. I think we got a good race car.
I know you've been watching the monitor. Your brother right now, provisional pole sitter. It would be his first pole of the year. Your thoughts coming from a tight-knit family that we know you guys are?
Well, I know I talked to him a little bit yesterday. He said he didn't think he had that good of a car. Well, it proved him wrong. So, that's great. We both run real well here at St. Louis. I've run well here in ARC races before. And, I think he can get it done. It's going to be tough to beat them Toyotas like always, though.
All right, well, you got one of your cars in, and good luck to you. Marty?
Yeah, the team thinks that they've got it done, signed, sealed, and delivered. They're heading to set up down at the pit out. They've selected their stall. They're moving in.
Well, they better be really happy they got that, though, because, that was a tie as far as qualifying with Reed Sorenson. That was very, very nervous time.
Out on the track is 67-year-old Morgan Shepherd. He'll be the oldest in our field if he can punch his way in the go or go home groups. First lap was not all that good amongst those that need to turn in those times. It's currently 36th, as you can see, and
says he's got an engine that's got almost 30 horsepower more. They've been working on that car, trying to get it faster. It's got a good-looking attitude. The nose is kind of low on it. Looks nice and flat.
Picks up a little.
It does, and that moves him up ahead of Stanton Barrett. 34.058 puts him 33rd, and that means that Willie Allen and Mr. Chapman have now been locked in.
That's going to be a borderline time, but I believe that'll get Morgan Shepherd in the field.
And as we get ready for our next driver, it'll be Casey Atwood. He's had 5 races here at Gateway. Picked up the pole back in 1999. That's also when he had his best finish, when he came across the stripe in 7th.
Casey's had a great opportunity with Ray Everham. Ray drove for Ray just a little bit, and then somehow just kind of lost some sponsorship, got out of the loop, and didn't get a good chance to get back in good cars. But it's great to see him back here again. I think the guy's a good driver. I really do. He just needs another chance.
Well, he was the youngest ever pole sitter here at Gateway. 18 years, 11 months, 23 days. He is looking good on the tracker right now. That's compared to 19th, Shelby Howard.
Yeah, to see his distance between turn 1 and 2, and actually exiting turn 2 was really good. I mean, that's a good run. That's compared to Shelby Howard now. But
he doesn't beat Howard, but he is 20th, and he'll be the next car that'll lock in. That'll be a great time to stand on and let these other guys see if they can beat it. I don't think that'll be any problem for him, though.
Cars nice and low in the racetrack on the exit of turn 2. That was good. Got a much better lap going right now. I like the way that car looks, Andy. Front end's kind of low on it. It's what you want to be here at this track.
Smooth over the bumps also.
And they've got a nice setup under that car.
Casey's doing a nice job here. He's definitely going to lock in with this lap.
So he comes across the stripe, and yes, he does lock himself in. He moves up into the number 16 position, a 33.67 seconds. So as we get ready to head to break, one more reminder about a special night of sports action. Sunday night baseball starts at a special time, 6 Eastern, the Mets and the Atlanta Braves. Then at 9 Eastern, it's the 2009 ESPYs and host Samuel L. Jackson. Sunday night baseball presented by Taco Bell and the ESPYs by Under Armour and Land Rover. Back here at Gateway International Raceway as go or go home qualifying continues. We've got 9 more cars still to make qualifying attempts. Kevin Hamlin on track right now. He's had 2 starts here at Gateway before, and boy, look at that.
Good job.
Moved her into 10th.
Pretty proud of you.
33.48 seconds. He locks himself in. So we now have 5 of those positions confirmed.
I need to get more on the second one.
That's a great job.
Drove really nice, man. Good job, guys. That was fun.
Both laps are very close together, very consistent.
That'll, you see,
studying that monitor. That's Brad Keselowski, the current pole sitter.
I'm not sure he has anything to worry about from anybody that's still to come as far as taking away that pole. It's just waiting until it is official.
And that's the key. You know, it's doubtful that anybody's going to outrun Brad. That was just a rocket ship lap.
Here's Curtis Davis. He's been in the top 20 the last 2 starts.
His best career finish was 10th at Talladega.
It's also where he had his best career start, which was also 10th. While Curtis continues this run, let's get the other side of this equation. And Jamie, I think you've caught up with Reed Sorenson's crew chief.
That would be Trent Owen. So we were just talking about that, and I asked, what are you seeing on the timing and scoring?
Well, the official time and scoring, we do see that we run the same lap times, but I mean, we're well aware that the TV somewhat announced a different time that would put us on the pole, but I don't know, it's still a good run for us. I'm not going to complain. We started second last week, 3 1,000ths off the pole. This week we run the same time, tied for the pole, at least right now. And, you know, in NASCAR's tiebreaker, the higher points guy gets the pole, but, you know, hopefully we'll hang on the second and start second. And, you know, like I said, Reed's done a great job this week, so I've enjoyed that.
Well, on another side to it, he got the track record, but now that it's tied, what happens?
Yeah, I don't know how all that works, but I would imagine whoever gets credited with the pole will end up with the track record. But I would think if 2 drivers run the same time and they both get the track record, they at least should share the signing.
Well, they're going to share the front row perhaps if it stays this way, and great effort by you guys. Unfortunate for them, but hey, it's good for the 88 team who matched their time, got a little better.
Well, as you finish up, Curtis Davis is vulnerable. He's 36th right now, second slowest of the go homers. And let's clarify, we have been able to figure this out. In one of our data loops that we get in the broadcast booth, there was a 1/1000th of a second difference. NASCAR, when they heard from us, went and checked their backup system, and the backup system confirmed what their system said right from the get-go, that it was identical times, 33.158 seconds. So I hope that clears up any misconception, and that brings it down to the tiebreaker, and that's why Brad is sitting on pole right now. Well, John West Townley out on track.
Yeah, get all you can right here. Don't worry about that lap.
John West Townley went to that top groove and cleaned it off a little while.
Yeah, he did. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, but the worst part about it is that's not where you want to be. So come on, John.
And you heard his crew chief, Brad Parrott, going, come on, get it back together.
Yep.
You got another lap to go. You can make it up on this second lap. Okay, that's lap 1. He knows he's got a problem with that lap, and he's got to keep this car in the bottom right now. Much better job.
Nice exit here.
Well, I hate being put in that position too when that happens.
It's very hard to recover mentally when you have a problem like that. You go, especially when you know you have only one lap to get it done now.
Well, he's another one of our drivers looking to make his first start here at Gateway in the Nationwide Series. Much better this time, and as he comes across the stripe, whoa, he goes from outhouse to penthouse.
You're in the race.
33.83, and he locks himself in.
Yeah, that was a good pickup. Brad Parrott got on the horn there, said, "Calm down, get your act
Way
back
to come
together."
back there, bud. Okay, first lap.
Yeah, a little coaching going on. You hear that? That's good. This young fellow needs that.
Well, and that's what Brad was brought on for. One of the things he could do was to help this young man make the adjustment.
Man, you really just didn't want to take the nose on that first lap.
So, Marty, I mean, we keep calling everybody young man. I guess we could do that, right? I mean,
Sure.
as old as you are. And me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Because there's a roast coming up on you in Iowa in a few weeks.
Oh, man, I heard about that.
Yeah, and I'm going to be there. So paybacks are awesome.
Thank you.
Recovery.
So
Great job, everybody. That's position 23rd right now.
All right,
Okay,
so as they finish up, here comes Derek Cope.
Daytona 500 winner, 1990. That was a big day for him. I remember Dale Earnhardt Sr. blew a tire going into turn 3, the last lap of the race. And here comes Derek Cope by to win his first Daytona 500. Boy, what a great feeling that was.
He's had 3 starts here in the Nationwide Series at Gateway. His best start was 27th back in 2001.
Now, he ran a lap in practice yesterday that's fast enough to get in. We'll see if he can here. That's a borderline lap right there, 34.13.
It sure is. We can tell you also with that John West Townley effort, Stanton Barrett has been shut out. He is packing up and heading home.
Beat that for Stanton. He was really pumped up for this race. You saw him doing an interview with Jamie Little down there. He's really excited, smiling. He's got to go home. He's going to miss another one.
Take a look at lap tracker. Derek coming down the front straightaway. Looks like this is going to be a much better lap for him. And it is. 33.94 puts him in the 32nd spot. Doesn't lock him in. Chase Miller has now been locked in to the race. Stay with us. We still have about a handful of drivers. That is your provisional pole sitter. Looking at Jeremy Clements here at Gateway International Raceway, and he is in that go or go home group, trying to fight his way into the field. He was 11th quickest of the go or go homers in practice, and the 24-year-old above the track line here for lap number 1.
Oh, he's going to get a good starting spot here. Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
22nd on that
Good
first
job.
lap.
He's in.
Good. 33.77. You're good.
They're just going to call him in. Yeah, that's it. It's all you need to do here.
And what that means is now Curtis Davis has been sent packing, as well as Stanton Barrett. So those are the first 2 that are not going to be around for tonight's race at 9 Eastern here on ESPN2.
And Jeremy's a good little driver. He needs a break. He really does. He's got more
does.
talent than most.
Well, this would match his one other start here at Gateway if he stays 22nd. That's exactly where he is right now. Brad Teague having a little trouble getting the car fired. Finally does.
Got to get the tires all warmed up. This is a short track, we all call it. Got good soft tires on it. Real close to the same tire you would run at Milwaukee, Phoenix, Arizona, Richmond, Virginia. You're going to see real low air pressures tonight. We're going to see cars, looks like the left front tires are flat because there's not much air in them all. The tire pressure is going to build up tonight, and tires won't look so flat then. But, boy, you see a lot of that going out to qualify even, and we'll see a lot of that tonight.
Brad Teague trying to make his 7th start here at Gateway International Raceway. His best qualifying effort was back in '97 when he started 28th. That's also his best finish year when he came home in 13th.
A lot of young drivers in this field, but Brad Teague, 61 years old. Morgan Shepherd, you got a few old guys here too now, making good showings.
Well, since we're talking next week about going to ORP, Randy LaJoie will be joining us in the booth. We might as well get him involved in this deal. He's going to love this one. The oldest pole winner here at Gateway, guess who? Randy LaJoie.
Hey, how about
at age
that?
40.
Our good friend Randy.
Of course, Casey Atwood was the youngest. We saw him a little bit earlier. Right now, Morgan Shepherd is the guy on the bubble. As
it looks like he's going to be safe right now. I don't think Brad Teague is going to be able to knock Morgan Shepherd off.
And Derek Cope's the next one to lock in to make this race.
Right, and the time is compared to Derek's time.
You know, I believe that Brad Teague here, he won Martinsville, Virginia back in 1987, I believe.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
Been around a long time.
Well, Teague 34.502, and that is not good enough. So he joins Stanton Barrett and Curtis Davis as the 3 so far that will not be in tonight's event.
Well, I predicted Morgan would be on the line of making it or not making it. I thought he would be good enough or fast enough to make it, but he is in danger.
3 cars remaining. Jeff Green, Joe Ruttman, Brian Keselowski.
Oh, Derek Cope's breathing a sigh of relief right now, getting locked in like that. It's got to make him feel good.
Yes, Derek has locked in. The next to lock in would be Mike Wallace, unless Jeff goes faster than Mike. And there it is. The time that is compared to will be Mike's.
Well, this guy right here, he's fast. He's a short track king. There's no doubt about that.
So he tried to get just a little too much down there in 1 and 2.
And he was on the pole here back in 2000. Qualified first, best finish, 4th. 16 wins in the Nationwide Series he's got.
Former champion.
And we should clarify, we're checking on this. We don't think that he would be in line for the Champions Provisional.
Well, then he better pick it up here on this second lap, because that lap's not quick enough.
We're double checking because we think the entry was posted too late. So that's what scoring is telling us and confirming that for us. So you're right, Andy. He has got to step it up. As right now, he is at 34.096. Morgan's best time, 34.058.
Going the wrong way on the tracker here, too. It's going to be close.
Yeah, keep an eye on the clock now. This is all what it's about.
Oh, he misses it.
And he does. Morgan Shepherd survives.
Unbelievable. A 16-time race winner gets beat by Morgan Shepherd, and Morgan's got a really good car right now. He talked about 30 more horsepower. He's outrun a big dog.
2 more cars to go before we conclude qualifying. Let's talk about the motorsports calendar, because coming up next, right here on ESPN2, it'll be qualifying for the NHRA, and their finals are tomorrow night at 9 Eastern, also on ESPN2. We're back here right after the NHRA qualifying effort at 9 Eastern here at Gateway International, and then the Traxxas Torque Truck Series presented by AMSOIL. That's tomorrow morning at 11:30 a.m. Eastern on ESPN2, and then we'll wrap out Monday with NASCAR Now presented by the Home Depot, 5 Eastern on ESPN2.
64 years old, Joe Ruttman.
Man, what about this? Look at his paint scheme. Blue, number 71.
He made his last NASCAR start at Gateway in September of '07 in the Truck Series.
That's Dave. Looks like Dave Marcus's old car to me. The number, the color, the whole thing.
Kind of retro.
Well, I tell you, Joe Ruttman, him and I had some battles back when I used to race the USAC Series.
He was 1980 USAC champion.
He needs to pick it up here, though. He hasn't run a lap this weekend that's fast enough to get in. He'll have to find something here on this second lap. 34.50 won't be anywhere close to enough to beat Morgan.
He's really going to have a massive pickup in his second lap if he's going to make this field.
34.058. That's the number he's trying to beat.
Boy, big pickup on his second lap so far, Andy. In the green, look how much that is.
Yeah, that's enough to do it right there. But he's giving it as good a shot as you can give it.
He's got to get a good exit off turn 4 right now to get this thing back up in the green, and it's not looking like it at the moment. It's going to be close, though.
Coming to the stripe. Does he get in? Joe Ruttman does not make it. 34.209.
Well, did you hear that sound? That plink?
Yeah.
That was somebody taking a shot at Morgan Shepherd and missing. He's got to survive one more. Morgan's still on the bubble.
1 car remaining. And that you heard Brian Keselowski say, well, at least I know what I will need to do. Here's what he needs. He must outrun Morgan Shepherd's time of 34.058. Nothing else matters.
And Morgan Shepherd's going, I don't deserve this. I've been doing this my whole life, man. I should be able to make these races. I've given back to this sport.
This is an uphill battle here for this team. We heard Brian Keselowski say that they had an engine problem and did not get a lot of practice. Felt like he had a good enough car, though.
Well, and he also failed to qualify for the last 2 races, so they want to break that streak right here as well.
Okay, not good so far. You can see we're tracking right along Morgan Shepherd's lap, and he is about a 1/10 of a second off of Morgan so far.
He's got a good low line,
right here, he's getting a good shot off this corner. It's going to be close.
Take a look at the clock, and Brian at 34.139. He's got to pick up another 10th. He needs 1/10 of a second.
He sailed that baby down on the turn 1. He's got a good exit off of turn 2 right now.
Oh, he's in there now. If he can hold it right here, he's got a good lap going. He's got a 1/10 and a half to spare, get into 3.
It's going to be hard to lose that much.
Yeah, he's even picking it up more now. So, yeah, this is a good lap for Brian Keselowski. He knew what he had to do, went out there, put the lap down.
And Brian does. He picks it up all the way to put him into the 23rd spot, 33.807. So that is good news for him. And look at Brad's happy with that as well. And bad news, though, for Morgan Shepherd, as he is the last one bumped and sent home here at Gateway. Well, when we come back, we'll talk to Brad Keselowski about his pole and what we can expect to see in tonight's race. Don't go away. You look at the number 88, they've already got their spot picked out. They're going to be at pit out with the number 1 qualifying position in hand, as Brad Keselowski has nailed down his 2nd nationwide pole in his 88th race. Let's check in with Dave Burns.
And Marty, as we noted, he was also excited to see his brother Brian in the race tonight as well. But Brad, for you, with a season where it seems like you've been playing catch-up every week since the beginning of the season, how important is this pole for your team?
It's just building momentum. We worked real hard to build this car. This is chassis number 434, and ran this car a bunch last year and rebuilt it over the off-season. And, you know, we wanted this car to come into the summer and pick us up a notch. That was kind of the goal for this car, and I mean, it looks like it's working. So real proud of everyone back at Junior Motorsports that's in the shop and in the fab shop that went out and worked real hard to put this car together. This is what we need. We need to run up front. We need to contend for wins to get back in the hunt for the championship. So, you know, we're on task, and I'm real proud of everyone on the Degree Chevrolet team.
Brad Keselowski's 2nd career pole. Jamie?
Well, it was essentially a tie for that 1st and 2nd starting position. Reed Sorenson on the receiving end of that. What were your thoughts when you saw the time he put up?
Well, it depends if I watch TV or if you look at the NASCAR monitor. I'm used to qualifying 2nd. I've done that 3 times here, and I don't think I've ever qualified 2nd though when the TV showed us 1st and ahead by a little bit. So I'm still confused about that. I think a lot of us are on the team. I'm sure that'll never get explained to us, but we're 2nd. We're having fun. We have a good car, and the Dollar General guys have done a great job this weekend, and it's been fun to come here, and hopefully we can do good tonight. I think we got a good car, and it should be a fun race.
You're Reed Sorenson. You come to Gateway. You're going to be good. And, hey, Marty, by the way, both of his wins here, he started 2nd.
Yeah, and explain it to him, Jamie, and we'll do it one more time as you take a look at the starting grid. What happened was our clock showed a 1/1000th second difference. NASCAR heard what we were reporting. They checked not only their primary but their secondary clocks. They both matched at 33.158. So that's where the discrepancy came, and that's how it was resolved. Anybody jump out at you as far as I still like Stephen Light's chances in this race. That car has been strong.
Guys, the one that jumps out to me was Reed Sorenson. He has to run with us all year long, and now he's on the front row right off the bat.
So he's going to have a great shot tonight, and you got Brad Coleman back there in that 20 car. He's going to have a good shot tonight.
You see Scott Lagasse Jr., one of the Rookie of the Year contenders, and on down through the field there you see young Shelby Howard. Anybody else jump out on that page for you?
Jason Keller going out there with a backup car, no laps, qualifying in the top 30.
Our 2 in-race reporters will have back in that field in the mid-section of the pack.
See Kenny and Mike, bumper to bumper right there on the inside row.
And then rounding out the field, it will be Kevin LePage. Let's talk about what we can expect to see tonight. Temperatures are going to be even cooler. What's going to happen in this race?
Double foul restarts. They're going to bonsai down to the turn one. If they get a little too aggressive, they're going to crash. That's just going to happen.
You're going to see some high speeds tonight. The track record was set, and you're going to see that continue on into the night.
Well, we have our 11th different pole winner here this year, our 11th different pole sitter in the race here at Gateway International. The good news is Brad is the pole sitter. The bad news, don't tell him this. He won't want to hear this. Only one of the 12 Gateway races has been won from the pole. That was Martin Truex back in '04. Don't forget to tune in tonight. It'll be 9 Eastern on ESPN2. Up next, we've got NHRA qualifying from Seattle. Congratulations once again to our pole winner, Brad Keselowski. And for our entire ESPN crew, Rusty Wallace, Andy Petrie, Dave Burns, Jamie Little, I'm Marty Reed. Thanks so much for joining us here on qualifying, and we will see you at 9 o'clock till we meet again.